Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Double Pivot podcast. I'm your host, Mohammad Hamza, and today I'm joined by two very close friends of mine from school, and we're going to review the Champions League draw which took place a few days back. I have Abhinav and Srikar with me. Abhinav is a massive Barcelona fan, and Srikar is a massive Bayern Munich fan. So finally, we have people who watch other leagues on our show. Otherwise, it was all Premier League. So it's good to have you both. How are you guys?
Doing
Yeah,
good, doing
fine.
good. It's good to
Good,
be
good.
here, finally on a podcast.
Right.
Thank you for inviting us.
No worries, man. Pleasure. So, we'll start off like I said, we'll review the draw. Srikar, just I wanted to ask you, just to review the last season's Champions League. I mean, Bayern won. Just your thoughts on that, and yeah,
Yeah, it was a great season.
right.
Great season. I have to say that we were lucky that a few teams had bad form,
Yeah, that's true.
and we also prepared well, so that helped us, with the massive score lines. But but like when you think of it, in the group stages, if if Leon hadn't beaten Manchester City, then it would have been hard for us
Right.
to go into the finals. But still, yeah, we you take whatever we get. So yeah,
And if maybe
six time.
if Adrian didn't play that badly against Atletico Madrid, even we would have qualified.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, yeah, but I mean, so let's move on to the draw. I mean, we'll talk about each group and then review who will be the top two teams to come out from that group, and then also talk about the favorites for the competition. So we'll start off by Group A. I mean, a really good group. I think again coming to Bayern, it's Bayern, Atletico, Lokomotiv Moscow, and Red Bull Salzburg. So, what do you think? How do you think, Abhinav, this group is going to pan out? I mean, it's like obviously two favorites, but do you see any other teams challenging those two?
No, I mean honestly, I think the level between Atletico and Bayern compared to Lokomotiv and Red Bull Salzburg is just
Yeah,
definitely like they're a class apart. And Red Bull, of course, they came into the playoffs,
yeah,
so that always plays a factor. Bayern, they have lost a couple big players with Perisic going back, and I can
right.
pass on to Stricker for the rest of about Bayern. Atletico, they picked up Suarez, even though they let go of, I believe it was Morata. Um, they're actually doing hit or miss in La Liga so
Right.
far, so I don't know about Atletico, but I think Bayern will top that group, but Atletico will definitely um, still go through.
Right. I mean, Srikar, just to carry on from that, again, Bayern Munich should probably finish first, be favorites, or you see Atletico
I
also?
mean, I don't know. In one of the Champions League seasons, Atletico beat us in
Yeah,
round of 16 or in quarterfinals
I think even
sometime.
in I think Guardiola's last year or some, I remember, I think it was in semi-final. I think Saul scored, I remember, and
Yes,
then
yeah,
Griezmann
that's
also
when,
scored.
That
yeah.
was a nasty
So
goal, amazing goal.
Yeah,
that was so. I mean, I will say mine are favorites, but then you have to be sure, that because even we've lost players, and then there's too many games and
yeah,
injuries and all that. I think Atletico has a good, they have a deep squad, and now that they're adding Torreira also,
yeah,
uh, and I don't think in another 2 days, I don't think Lemar or Partey will leave. So they will
yeah.
have a really good squad, like a balanced squad. So they could have a chance, but yeah, there's only two teams, Bayern
Yeah.
and
I mean, but
Atletico.
I mean, you expect Bayern and Atletico to beat the other two teams, so it'll probably come down to the head-to-head clashes. I mean, two contrasting styles. I mean, how do you see? Like, I mean, Simeone obviously very defensive, and then Bayern are really attacking and pressing high. So, how do you see those games going?
Uh, I mean, as a Bayern fan, I want Bayern to win, but
Yeah,
then Atletico are really good at counterattacks, and Bayern
yeah,
is very bad when defending counterattacks.
right.
So that is one thing which I'm not really looking forward to. But if we can break down Atletico in the first half
Yeah.
using, yeah, if Sane is hopefully fit by then and everyone is fit, then hopefully we can score some goals. Otherwise, yeah, it'll be a close match. Different
Yeah.
styles, it will be a good match.
Right. Hey, Abhinav, I just wanted to ask you then, I mean, what's your thought on Atletico? I mean, how has Simeone been doing in the last few years? I mean, if you can tell our viewers, I mean, and then how do you think Suarez will basically integrate into the squad? I mean, will he start or will
Yeah.
like Felix start or Costa? I mean, who probably he'll probably play two up front, like so. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I think outside of the Italian league, which I see
yeah,
a lot of like the bigger teams, the powerhouse teams, they tend to defend really well.
right.
Outside of that, I think Simeone's teams are up there. Atletico's up there in terms of being just a team that defends really well. They usually go for like hitting a goal early and then just holding on to that lead, even if it's 1-0, 2-0.
Yeah,
Um, Beyond that, I think Suarez really fits in to their playstyle, that Simeone playstyle, where he has like a very defensive team and then you have like one or two bulldogs up top. Felix actually is pretty different from what they're used to having. Like they usually have Costa who just like bullies his way in.
yeah,
So far,
That's
what
why
I've
he's a
seen
flop.
is so far what I've seen is actually they are not playing together at the same time. It's been like Costa on for most of the game, and then Suarez comes on late. Worked out really well for the first game. I believe they won 6-1. Suarez got like a brace and assist in like 20 minutes. After that, I think they got held to 2 draws. The most recent match, I believe it was Villarreal, and it was a 0-0.
yeah,
Suarez actually started for that. That's very interesting to see because I felt the same way when he was at Barcelona towards these past few years, his last couple of years. He just like was not starter material anymore. He had to be like
yeah,
a super sub last 30, 40 minutes,
yeah,
but not somebody who could start and finish out the 90 minutes. But obviously, because it's a couple new players, especially like a big star like that, you have to give him a bit of time. Felix has been playing really well, though. I will say
right,
that. So hopefully he does start, get a chance, get some Champions League exposure while he's still young.
right. I mean, yeah, I mean, very interesting. I mean, like both of you said, I mean, I personally also think Bayern and
But
Atletico should get
sorry,
out of the group. Yeah,
I
yeah,
just
go ahead,
want to
Shrikar.
add a point. It's just since this is during the December time, during winter time, I think the matches in Moscow will be really hard for either of
Oh,
the
yeah,
team.
definitely, yeah, yeah. I mean, Russia not an easy place, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, go on.
I mean, we'll move on to the next group then.
Yep.
Group B, Mönchengladbach, Inter Milan, Real Madrid, Shakhtar. I mean, I think one of the probably the group of death. I mean, probably the toughest group. I mean, I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
again, all good, evenly matched sides. I mean, what do you think about this group? Abhinav, I'll start with you.
Yeah. So initially, when I saw the draw,
Yeah,
I did think it was one of the tougher groups. But then
yeah,
when I did a bit more like a deeper dive into what exactly the teams bring, you see Mönchengladbach, which usually is up there in the top 4 or 5 for Bundesliga. They actually last year did not make it out of their Europa group,
right.
and which is very interesting to me because we obviously see Europa as like a step beneath um, the Champions League.
Champions League, yeah,
On top of that, you have both Real Madrid, where even if they're kind of hit or miss right now, Zizou's in charge. Anything can happen in the Champions League. If there's
yeah,
one thing we have to know, it's that.
yeah,
Inter Milan looks insane. They've added Vidal and Nainggolan in the midfield, and I feel like if you're any player, you don't want to see them on the pitch
yeah,
against
yeah,
you. Um, Shakhtar, I definitely thought like, okay, powerhouse from Ukraine, they could be a little dark horse, maybe steal a game from Inter Real. And then I found out that in this previous season, they lost the Europa League semis, which was changed from 2 leg to 1 leg. They got smashed 0-5.
yeah, yeah.
So I think Inter knows exactly how to handle them. And obviously, I have Real and Inter going through.
Right. I mean, Srikar, your thoughts? I mean, you can probably also explain about Mönchengladbach. I mean, you probably watch them closely in the Bundesliga.
Yeah,
So, how do you see that group going?
they are a tough team to play. I mean, they're
Yeah,
a very physical team, and they grind out wins. Sometimes they have, they play really good, and sometimes they don't play really good because they lost to Dortmund
right,
on the first match day. But then I only see Real Madrid and Inter Milan. But Inter Milan is just, I mean,
yeah,
their bench
looking good. Yeah,
is so
yeah,
healthy. I mean, and everyone's on form. Even though they concede goals, they still score a lot of goals. And Lukaku has an amazing season.
yeah,
His partnership with Martinez, yeah, I think they'll just. I think they'll aim for second. I think Real Madrid will just win matches.
yeah. I mean, it's an evenly matched group. I mean, other two teams, Mönchengladbach and Shakhtar, are decent. But I mean, do you think with lack of crowds, is like further difficult for them because they don't have that, I mean, motivation. Like, I mean, like there's not much of a difference if you're playing on a home ground or away ground now without fans. I mean, do you think that uh, affects teams like this? Well, both of you, Abhinav, you'll probably go for it. Go ahead.
I can see that. I
Yeah.
believe I'm not sure if anything has changed, but I believe
Yeah.
UEFA did announce that they'll allow a third of the fans
Okay. Okay.
into the Champions League. So definitely, like if you're a smaller team, and I say
Yeah.
smaller, they're huge in Ukraine and Germany respectively. But when
Yeah.
they're going up against like these internationally world-renowned teams, every bit helps. So I think that definitely that even if it's 1,000, 3,000 fans, it definitely helps compared to absolutely
Yeah.
nobody.
Definitely.
So
Germ-
it is
Ger-
good that they're allowing fans. Hopefully, it does work out safely.
yeah, Germany has started allowing fans, and then
Yeah.
I think Mönchengladbach
I think even
by
Italy. Yeah.
yeah. So
Lately.
by October, I think they'll be a bit used to having about 5,000 to 10,000 fans. So
Yeah.
it'd be an advantage for Mönchengladbach, but then other teams, yeah, I mean, it'll be a bit different for them.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you ask me also, again, Inter Milan and Madrid should probably go through in that group. I mean, yeah, unless something surprising happens. And
Like when
then,
you think of it,
yeah,
this group has really three strong Europa League sides, which have yeah, I mean, and then there is one Champions League, so it is really a very tough group for
definitely,
those three
definitely.
teams.
Yeah. I mean, and then moving on to Group C, there's Man City, Olympiacos, Marseille, and Porto. I mean, looking from the outset, Porto and Man City should be favorites. Do you guys see any
I
changes
I
in
just
that?
have to say, I just have
Yeah,
to say one thing.
yeah, go
Man
ahead.
City's Man City's UCL season is starting from February, from whenever knockout stages are starting. Before that, it is
Um,
just normal friendlies.
that's fair. Honestly,
Yeah,
after watching Man City these past few weeks, I
you never
feel like
know.
this group has gotten a bit better in
Okay.
terms of the competitiveness.
Yeah,
Obviously, I feel like they'll clear up their act by then.
yeah,
But then again, I said that for this week too. I thought they would go out and hammer Leeds 1-1
right.
draw,
Yeah,
and Leeds pretty much outplayed them for the entirety of the second half.
yeah.
But anyways, beyond that, Olympiacos, I
I mean,
believe
they're
they were
always in
knocked
the
out by
Champions
Wolves.
League, but yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
always there. They're knocked out by Wolves last year in the Europe around the 16.
Yeah,
So can't really tell how
yeah.
good they actually are because Wolves is a decent opposition. They're definitely known for beating the top six teams in Premier League. Marseille, very hit or miss. And I say that because they start off League One with the win against PSG, even though it was 1-0
I think AVB is the
after red
manager.
cards. But what happened after that was a loss and two draws.
Okay.
So not really much we
Very,
can say there.
Yeah,
very inconsistent.
I used to think that like League One might be above the Portuguese league, but I honestly don't know anymore.
right. And then Srikar, again, yeah, similarly, Man City and Porto, again, straightforward for you?
Man City for sure, but I'm not sure between Porto and
Porto and
Marseille.
Marseille. Right.
Somehow,
Yeah.
I don't know. Marseille, I think they can just come out of, they can be, yeah, some surprise.
Hit and miss. I mean, okay, that was pretty straightforward. Next group, again, pretty interesting.
Yeah,
Liverpool, Ajax, Atalanta, and I don't know, how do you pronounce that team also?
Midtjylland.
Like
Midtjylland.
Midtjylland or yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not going to try
Midtjylland.
also.
It's actually their first time in the Champions League.
Oh, wow, okay. I mean,
Yeah,
I
they
think
are
they're
from
Danish side
Denmark.
or
Yeah, they're from Denmark.
right. Okay. So, I mean, in this group, Liverpool obviously favorites, but Ajax and Atalanta over the last few years are like surprise, like, I mean, really attractive teams in the Champions League. I mean, both play really nice football. So, how do you see this group going? I mean, Astrikar?
You can go ahead, Trigger.
uh, I don't know. Atlanta has been a superb team to watch last year and this year. I mean, I've started watching Serie A like 2 years back, and Atlanta is playing really good football. And recently they beat Lazio 4-1 uh, this weekend. So I think they're rolling. I just hope they don't have any injuries. But then I think Ajax have lost their
Yeah,
good
main
players.
players.
They've
Yeah,
lost
Their
Van de
core
Beek
for sure. Yeah.
and this guy
Greek, yeah.
Sergio Dest. So
Des
I
also.
think they are. so they've weakened a bit. So I think it'll be
Definitely.
Liverpool and Atlanta, and I think Atlanta can somehow surprise Liverpool, because Liverpool last year have lost to Napoli also.
Yeah.
Uh, Sorry, the
I
year
mean,
before.
Atalanta
So
did
there
really
could
well
be,
against PSG also. I mean, they were close to
yeah,
knocking
yeah.
them out. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Abhinav, what do you think?
So
Yeah, Oxley, go ahead.
Yeah. Let's see what else. Oh, a little other fact about Midtjylland. They actually beat Slavia Praha, who made it into Champions League just last year,
Yeah.
but they got so unlucky with their group. They were in the Barcelona Dortmund Inter group.
Okay.
um, Other than that, yeah, team like Atlanta and Ajax, you would think that it's kind of close. Both of them are being pretty good. But Ajax definitely lost its core, whether it's
Yeah.
both up, 3 out of 4 of their back line, and then Van de Beek as well. On top of that, Atalanta was basically up there with the teams. It was basically, I think, Atlanta and Bayern that had scored like 100 plus goals, and like no
Yeah.
other team had come close. Like when you have a
Yeah.
team, even though they didn't win Serie A, you have a team scoring that many goals, and you have a team like Ajax who has just lost 3 of their 4 like starting defenders in the past
Yeah.
couple years. I just don't think they can compete. Maybe if it was a year or two ago, I would say Ajax has a chance,
Yeah,
but I have
definitely.
Liverpool and Atlanta for sure going through.
Right. I mean, I agree totally. If Ajax had all their players, I think it would have been an interesting match.
For sure.
Three really attacking teams. But yeah, I think I'd go for Atalanta and Liverpool. I'll move on to Group E. Chelsea, Krasnodar, Rennes, and Sevilla. I mean, again, with all 4 good teams. I don't know much about Krasnodar, but I mean, Rennes, Sevilla, and Chelsea. I mean, Chelsea aren't like flying in the Premier League, so should be a competitive group. Abhinav, you can probably go first. Yeah.
Um, so Krasnodar and Rennes, this is both their first time in the Champions League, which is pretty crazy to have 2 teams for the first time in the same, like drawn into the same group.
Yeah.
Sevilla, I think this is going to be like one of the first times that they actually go through the group. They don't have to go through the Europa League anymore.
Yeah.
Sevilla have been playing very well. I believe their game against Bayern in the Uefa Super Cup that actually went all the way to
It's
extra
close.
time.
Yeah.
So they have a team playing very well. Tomorrow they play Barcelona. So if this
Yeah.
podcast was tomorrow, I could talk even more about them. But Tricky can definitely talk to you about how their current form is. Chelsea, obviously today they had a 4-0 victory, so they look on the up. You have Pulisic and Ziyech on the horizon, about to be back in the squad, which can only help them. Krasnodar, honestly, have never seen,
Yeah.
and Rennes just because it's their first time. Then again, League One squad, and you have a team like Chelsea who still are defensively hit or miss. It
Yeah.
could be a surprise there, but I believe Sevilla is going through for sure,
Yeah.
and 80% chance that Chelsea goes in through.
Chelsea go through.
Yeah.
Srikar, any objections there or same?
no
Same.
objections. I
Yeah.
mean, I just have to say that to put some respect on Krasnodar, because I mean, if they've come out of Russia, with there are teams like CSK Moscow and
Yeah.
Zenit, and so I think Zenit is there, but other
Yeah,
Moscow teams. So
for
I
sure.
mean, they could be Ren. Chelsea bought Ren goalkeeper, right?
Yeah. I think
I
Eduardo
think,
Mendy. Yeah. Yeah.
I believe
yeah.
so.
So they lost their main goalkeeper also in the whole team. So yeah, but Sevilla. I mean, I think Sevilla will be first in the group. Chelsea,
Okay.
they're a bit inconsistent. I mean, Lampard hasn't been playing their players in the right position and all that.
Yeah. I
But yeah,
mean,
hope it improves by then.
I guess it all depends on how Lampard and Werner and Havertz are settled. If they're settled in by that time, then Chelsea can probably finish first. But again, Sevilla, I think even I'd agree. Sevilla looks like more balanced and settled right now.
They were really strong against
They were really
Bayern.
strong in Bayern. Yeah, yeah.
Really, yeah.
I think Lopetegui is the manager. Again,
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
yep.
I think he's been doing well. After Real Madrid. So yeah, but Sevilla. I always noticed even in when they used to win the Europa League over the past years, whenever they came in the Champions League, they didn't do well. It's like they almost got knocked into the Europa League
Absolutely.
and then they
Hmm.
win the Europa. So
Their memes going around saying that Sevilla will on purpose, come third place and then they'll win Europa.
okay, and then we move to Group F now, guys. Dortmund, Club Brugge, Lazio, and Zenit. Again, I think after that Real Madrid group, I mean, evenly matched teams. I mean, um Zenit, especially Zenit, Dortmund, and Lazio, I think will probably fight. I mean, Dortmund slightly favorites, I guess. But yeah, what do you think about this group? I mean, any surprises or yeah? Abhinav, you can go probably first again.
Yeah, I think Dortmund should top this. I would say
Yeah,
Lazio and Dortmund would fight for top position, but then
yeah,
Lazio just got smacked.
yeah,
Um, Beyond that, Club Brugge, I think they're gonna have to be on bottom unless they can somehow surprise Zenit. When I was actually going through the groups, I noticed that Zenit also from Russia, obviously, but I just noticed like how much Russian representation is in this year's Champions League.
yeah.
And currently, I think Zenit is probably the best from Russia. They
Russia,
won the Russian Cup last season, and they're also currently on the top of the Russian Premier League,
and they signed Dejan Lovren also.
the best defender in the world.
Srikar, what do you think about this group, bro?
Dortmund for sure will be first.
Yeah,
And I mean, you don't know how Lucien Favre is and his substitutions, but then under normal circumstances they should be first.
yeah,
And it'll be a fight between Zenit and Lazio for sure, because I feel they're on the same level of Europa League, good teams, but they're not
yeah.
Champions League knockout stages teams. Club Brugge, I think they beat Real
Belgian
Madrid last year,
champions.
right? Yeah, yeah, but they surprised Real Madrid last year, I think, in
I
the
think so. One game,
in the
yeah.
group stages. Yeah, so there can be one or two games like that, but yeah, mostly the main fight for second place will be between Zenit and Lazio.
I mean, okay, I just wanted to talk about Dortmund. I mean, because you again probably, I mean, both of you probably follow them closely. I mean, a lot of young players, exciting players, but it's like they can't in the big moments. They can't really finish. I mean, the games. I mean, how is the squad looking? I mean, is there optimism? Like, is there like a hope from Dortmund this season, or again, is it like the same problems?
They I mean, I just want to tell that if they really want, they can challenge Bayern,
Yeah,
because they're a really good team, and whenever we play against Dortmund, the matches are always close, but there is always some slip up, and then it's just like the door is opened and they just lose all their mentality, or winning mentality. And even when it comes to their selling strategies and everything, they don't really have a proper strategy. They just get players, they make them really good, and they sell them on. So
yeah,
and it's not a good business model for the future. I mean, if you want to remain second, you can happily be there, but
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, what do you think about Dortmund?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
Definitely a
inexperienced.
lot of
Yeah,
young talent. So obviously the mentality
yeah,
comes into picture. But I mean, their youngsters amazing. Holland,
yeah,
insane. Gio Reyna from
yeah.
US, she got I think 3 assists today as well. So they've been playing well. Obviously in the Bundesliga, but we'll have to see how they do, especially against Lazio and Zenit. I want to see those games, see how they
Yeah,
perform.
it'll be interesting. Yeah.
Now that they don't have Hakimi anymore, because he was huge in last year's Champions League campaign for them. So I
Right,
want to see how they do.
right.
I mean, I just want to add one thing. I don't
Yeah,
blame if Haaland joins Bayern in another 2-3 years,
as a replacement for
because
Lewandowski.
yeah,
Lewandowski.
because
That's perfect.
the thing is, I mean, if you want to win, in the end, Haaland is just scoring goals. All he needs are trophies, just to
Yeah,
put him at the level of Mbappe.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah. I really like that guy. He looks like a really good striker.
yeah.
I mean, and then the big group: Barcelona, Juventus, Dynamo Kiev, and then this Hungarian team. I researched them before coming, but again, Ferencvaros. Okay, but yeah, I mean, Messi, Ronaldo in the same group. So many subplots. I mean, I think Arthur and Pjanic facing off
Hmm.
against their old clubs. I mean, De Jong meeting Delict. I was saying. So again, so many stories. What do you think, Srikar? I'll start with you first. Barcelona, Juventus. Anybody like who do you think will come out on top? I mean,
Uh, I think Barcelona have a slight chance. I mean, they have a better chance of coming first, because they've started the season really well. And if they continue this form, or at least the form that is close, I think they can beat, because Juve, they've started their first game they won, but then second
Yeah,
game they've drawn.
true. Yeah,
They're
true.
always very inconsistent. Their team, the style they play, and the players, they're never energetic and they don't play good.
Yeah,
And yeah, I think only Messi versus Ronaldo is the only headline that's going to pop up, because when you think of the teams, Barcelona is a really good team. You like to watch them play. Juventus, on the other hand, are very dull. So
yeah.
I don't know how the matches are going to be, but yeah, it is the highlight.
I mean, Abhinav, what do you think? Two teams, both the teams have new managers, Pirlo and Koeman. I mean, Koeman has obviously off to a flying start, so it'll be a really good matchup. I mean, even matchup. It's not like one team is favorite. I mean, right now probably say 50-50. But yeah, I mean, your thoughts on the group?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So fun fact is actually
Yeah,
Ferencváros' first time in the 25 years that they've made it back to Champions League. Honestly, like I looked at the name and I was like, maybe because Puskás, maybe he's from Hungary, maybe the team is from Hungary because his first name is very similar to this
yeah, yeah,
this team's
yeah.
full name. Um, Daniel Kiev, also from Ukraine, and I believe they won the European Cup last year. Or sorry, Ukrainian. Um, Between Barcelona and Juventus, initially, I thought Barcelona would probably play and go ahead and get first, simply because I haven't seen that much creativity out of this new Juventus side. Obviously,
Yeah.
they changed manager. They have Pirlo now. They won the first game, but like you said, they drew the second game. Not really sure how that, like, it doesn't look like the style of play is either fast enough to break down opponents, or like even if it's like strategical breaking down opponents. I haven't really seen that, especially in the
Yeah,
second game. Whereas Barcelona, we've definitely like incorporated more pace, using the wings more, playing people in their positions, which is huge. One thing I will say that may happen and Juventus goes first is, I believe it's the first match day or the first
yeah.
time Barcelona plays Juventus, 2 or 3 days either
Later
before
is
or
the
after
Clasico. Yeah,
is Barcelona's first El Clasico of the season.
right.
So if the squad depth just isn't there, or depending on what exactly we focus on, because we
Yeah,
can probably get away with playing a B side against Juventus, taking
yeah,
that hit, and then just still qualifying for the next
yeah,
round.
yeah,
But getting that win against Real Madrid would be huge, because we've already got 2 wins, whereas other Madrid teams have dropped points.
yeah,
So we can afford to, but we'd like to leave that for later on in the season. But that
yeah.
would be one thing that would maybe Barcelona maybe take that hit, come second in the group, but still progress. But
Right.
other than that, I think it's easy. Barcelona Juventus through.
I mean, do you think this is Messi and Ronaldo's last time they face off against each other? I mean, you never know. They're getting old. I mean, they got drawn in the group stage together, but yeah, you never know. Last time probably.
Um, Honestly,
We've
it could
seen
happen
interesting.
in
Yeah,
the, yeah. Obviously, it is all of like luck of the draw, because this is their first time ever, I believe, that they're in the group. Obviously, he's at Real Madrid for so long, so it didn't happen. But it can happen.
yeah,
But it's all luck. And then on top of that, Barcelona would have to, like, one of the teams would have to come second in their respective leagues for it to happen as
yeah,
well, which is
yeah.
also difficult. Especially for Juventus, I feel like they're nowhere near coming second in Serie A for a long, long time. But we'll see.
Have Real Madrid and Barca ever played in the Champions League?
I think
Against each
it
other,
was that
yeah, they
semi-final,
had
right?
semis.
That
Semis.
Messi scored.
The year Barcelona won against United in the final.
Oh, okay.
2011, I think it was.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean, because the only difference is you never see Ronaldo and Messi, go against each other in the Champions League. It's
yeah.
usually La Liga, but Champions League, it's a much bigger stage, and yeah, there
I think they
is.
did this twice or thrice. I mean, that too in the start of their career. I think that one 2011 semi-final, and then United versus Barca. I think the 2009 Ronaldo played
Mm,
with United. I think
yeah.
Yeah.
that was the
But
game.
yeah,
Yeah,
2011 was crazy because I believe in 10 or 12 days there was four
four
El
Clásicos.
Clásicos.
Yeah, yeah,
We had La Liga, Copa del Rey, and the 2 Champions Leagues.
that was too much. Yeah, and then we'll move to the last group, guys. Man United, PSG, Leipzig, and then Istanbul. Again, I mean, I'd say PSG favorites, but for United fans, it's not straightforward because Leipzig are a good side, as we saw in the last year's Champions League. I mean, but they've obviously lost Werner. But I mean, Nagelsmann is a good coach. So I mean, and the way United are playing, you never know. So again, should is there like a surprise in store in that group? You think?
The only
Bigger?
surprise I can see is Manchester United qualifying. I mean, I don't want to be terse or something, but
Yeah,
uh, Leipzig is a really good team. People, I mean, just because Timo Werner left, people say that, but today they beat Schalke 4-0,
yeah,
and their Cam is scoring all their goals, Emil Forsberg. So they're a really good team with really good tactics. Manchester United, I don't know. I hope they play well against Istanbul.
right. I mean, what do you think that this
Yeah,
last group?
absolutely. I think as bad as United can be, or even can get, if it can get worse,
Yeah,
um, Istanbul is way down there. Like they somehow won last year. They won their league, but now after 4 games, they have 1 point.
yeah,
So I don't think anything's going on. Granted, United's not doing anything much better. They barely
yeah,
beat Brighton. Play Spurs tomorrow, which should be a good one. Um, but Leipzig, I mean, they are doing amazing considering they lost both Werner and Patrick Schick, who
yeah.
also put in, I think, 10 goals, 3 assists last season. Um, so United Leipzig, I think that'll be a very good matchup. I think Paris, easy. They might even
Yeah,
win all their games, honestly.
right.
I would
Paris,
not be
I
surprised.
mean,
Yeah.
the best thing to watch over there is Paris again, Mbappe, Neymar
Mbappe
against
against Harry
Maguire.
Phil
Maguire.
Jones.
I mean,
Yeah.
I-
I mean, we've
Yeah.
touched all the groups now, and then I wanted to ask you guys, who do you think are the favorites now? I'd like to ask you, like, for your top five favorites. I mean, you never know in the Champions League, anything can happen. Two-legged ties. I mean, knockout on their day, any team can beat. But from the outset, who do you think, like, or let's go, like, who do you think will be the semi-finalists, like top four, like best
Top
teams?
four. Okay. Do you want to go first, Shaker?
oh, okay. Uh, my top four are Barcelona,
Yeah.
Bayern, Liverpool, and Real
No Real
Madrid.
Madrid, no Juventus.
Real Madrid.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean,
I
interesting choice. Avinav,
literally
what do you
going to
think?
say the same thing. I was going to say the same exact thing. If
Yeah.
anything, I would maybe say Paris makes it in.
Yeah.
And if they do, it would maybe be above one of those Spanish sides, just because the La Liga race looks to be pretty tight right now. And Barcelona obviously is like first season on a new manager, and Real Madrid have been pretty hit or miss so far, which I feel like as defending champions, you shouldn't be that hit or miss, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I
Yeah.
mean, and then you said your top four. I mean, I'm just going to put out few other teams. Do you think they might challenge like Inter Milan or Atletico? I mean, Atletico, you never know in Champions League. I mean, if Simeone manages to work his magic, and then who else? City, Man City, no, all those three teams. I'm just asking.
Um, I honestly would say Inter.
Out of those three teams, who
Um,
probably you would think closest?
you said Inter, City, and what again?
I think Atletico.
Atletico.
Yeah.
Atletico. I
You
mean,
can probably put Dortmund in because
given
they have
we
Ronaldo.
haven't had that many weeks of the season, it is kind of
Yeah.
hard to tell.
Yeah.
Right now, I would put Inter above any of those, and probably City at the bottom.
Yeah.
Even though Atleti have drawn, the way I see it is sometimes they just play for a draw. Like,
Yeah.
and in Champions League, that somewhat rewards it, especially when there's two legs,
Yeah.
or like it definitely favors Atletico's play style sometimes.
Yeah.
So Atletico definitely go far, especially when they come up against any other powerhouse team. They find a way to get that early goal, and
Yeah.
then they just park the bus. They park the double-decker bus, triple-decker. They invent new buses,
Yeah.
and
I know that.
they make
I
it
have a
through.
feeling.
They make it
Yeah.
through.
Yeah. Sikar, any?
The thing is, in my top four,
Yeah.
I mean, looking at all the players that Bayern Munich lost and how they're performing and the tactics, I would be surprised if they make it to top four, frankly, because when it comes to Spanish teams or Manchester City or Juventus for that matter, they kind of
Mm-hmm.
grind out those wins, in the knockout stages. Somehow they get through. Real Madrid also, even if they might not be good, somehow they'll come and
Yeah.
beat it 2-0. So there are always those cases, that's why I think other teams are pretty like set even Barcelona, because Messi, I think it'd be a two-leg game, match days this time in
Yeah.
the knockout stages. So then Messi can show up one game, he might not. Ronaldo can. So there are always those game changers, even in PSG.
Right.
So I think this year it will be a very close contest. And then out of the three teams that you mentioned, I think Atletico has a good chance because, like Abhinav said, somehow they can just get through. They score one goal in two matches,
Right.
just the aggregate can be 1-0 and they still go through on away goals or something. Yeah.
Right. Right. I mean, we have 2 minutes before the meeting ends, and before
Yeah.
finishing, I wanted to ask you in our "Who would you rather have" segment. I had two questions. First, I mean, I chose Bayern and Barca players. First, at
Okay.
right back, who would you rather have, Lam or Dani Alves? Just quickly, and then one sentence. Abhinav.
You go, Abhinav, you go.
Oh, Dani Alves, because the chemistry he can form with anybody in your front line is just insane.
Yeah, and speaker.
I'll go with Lam.
And then
Lam,
yeah,
because he's captain, and then no red cards, super tackles,
yeah,
crosses, everything. Yeah.
right. And then the last one, Suarez or Lewandowski? Like, I mean, in their peak, who would you choose? I mean, speaker.
In their peak,
Yeah, I mean,
uh,
if you had to
I
pick.
mean, in their peak, I'll go for Suarez.
Abhinav, you agree?
Gotcha. Well, since I don't really know what Lewandowski's peak is,
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of inclined to pick Lewandowski
Okay.
just because of what I've been seeing the past few years.
No, because the thing is with Suarez, he's not scared at all. He can shoot from anywhere. He can shoot
Yeah,
from
score
anywhere.
more types of goals.
Lewandowski,
Yeah.
yeah, Lewandowski, he gets the ball, he tries to take a few touches in the box and then try to shoot. So he misses lots of his chances. That's the
Right.
only criteria.
Okay,
Right.
I can see that.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, thank you guys. Thank you for being on the show. I mean, it was really fun talking to you all. I mean, really excited for the start of the Champions League, and let's see how it goes. Yeah, again, to all the viewers, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe the video. And we'll be
Click
back
that
again
bell.
with more content. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
hope
See you.
hope you call us again.
All right, see ya.
No worries.
Sure, bye.